Hello. Happy Monday. Happy time zone. How's everyone doing tonight? Hope you're doing well. We got a sleepy day over here in New England. Just very rainy, gray weather today. It's been kind of overcast for a few days. It was very gray today, and I'm feeling sleepy. It's put me in the sleepy vibe, but I'm excited to be here today. Because I missed last week. I've been very busy. I had to preemptively skip last week to get some stuff done. And I've been looking forward to being back with you all, doing a little crafting. So thanks to folks who are here. Hi Dor, hi Mikey, hi Tom. Welcome in. Excited to see you all. Let me know what you're planning to work on tonight, or what you're making for dinner or a snack. Hi Sam, nice to see you. Yeah, I feel like it's been a while that I have known that you've been here anyways, so hey, welcome. Catch a stream again. I am hoping to work on the fish part of this Wingspan project that I've been working on, so I'm made a stream joke in the notification. We're gonna go fishing in the stream tonight, on stream fishing. Oh hey Joe. Ooh, nice nap. I could have used a nap today. I feel like today would have been a good nap day, but that didn't happen. I took a bike ride instead. I think that's part of why I'm also tired. It's not just like the rain. I've been very active lately, which is good for like heart health and productivity and whatnot, but I'm just sleepy. It's making me tired. I don't know if anyone else uses the like Apple activity rings. It was mostly for Apple Watch, but I think if you have an iPhone you can use them, and it's like you set certain goals based on like movement and dedicated exercise time and like standing every day. And it used to be really easy for me to just like hit those by going about my day when I lived in New York City and I walked everywhere for errands and work and whatever. But it was always distinct that if I closed all of those rings, I would be pretty wiped out by the end of the day. And this past week, I had like a perfect week that I closed all of my rings every single day of the week. And so earlier today when I was like, why am I so tired? I was like, that might have been it. Because I was really pushing hard. Not even like exercising super hard, just like been very active. Been doing a lot of like household reorganization where you're just sort of on your feet all day, moving things around, doing things. So I'm wiped out. But let's see, what are folks working on? Oh, hey Sarah, thanks for the resub. 5 months, 5-month streak. Thanks for that. Okay, oh, Dora's working on the little Cleo doll, getting some legs and trousers on the doll. That's very fun. Tom's doing food soon, and then going back to, the ramen bowl cross stitch. Now, Tom, are you also gonna have ramen for dinner? Because I feel like you've got to have ramen at least like one of the evenings when you're working on your ramen cross stitch. Oh, Mikey, you're doing a practice sock. Now, when you say practice sock, is this like a prototype for a new design you're trying, or is this your first time knitting socks? Because I have learned that knitting socks is a more advanced level skill of knitting. It's very tricky. Has a big learning curve. First sock. Well, congratulations. Good luck. Let us know how it goes. Oh, Tom, time change, jet lag. Yeah, we've had daylight savings start already here in most of the US, and I think that's part of it too. It's like, I was just getting into like my circadian rhythms waking me up at the time in the morning that I would like to wake up right before daylight savings started, and now I'm just like, man, always happens. I always get in the groove right before the clocks change, and now it's hard again. Sarah's having leftover garlic parmesan butter beans with sourdough toast. Ooh. I like a lot of those flavors all together, especially sourdough. I just had a little bit of soda bread before stream, as a little pre-stream snack. Because we got St. Patrick's Day coming up. That always makes me some combination of St. Patrick's Day and Lent, which I don't actually observe, but I was raised sort of culturally Catholic. I get in touch with my Irish roots more this time of year. St. Patrick's Day was also both my grandfather's birthday and about the day that he passed away, so I just feel connected to things this time of year. My grandfather was not Irish, but my grandmother was. It's a whole thing. His saint name was St. Patrick because of his birthday. But yeah, I get into the Irish stuff like every stereotypical American with Irish roots this time of year. But yeah, having some soda bread. Did not make my grandmother's or like great-great-grandmother's recipe this year. I just bought it from the store. But man, I love bread. this was my whole tangent just on seeing that you're having sourdough toast. So it's just like, yeah, toast, bread. Very good. I also love liquid bread. Okay. Speaking of Irish, I've got my liquid bread happening here in a minute. I'll pour some of that. Like I said, tis the season. Door your time changes at the end of the month. Yes, I have, for whatever silly reason, I have like most world holidays on my Google Calendar, and so I will frequently get confused because I'll have like different like UK and European, like all different kind of daylight saving times, or British summertime, whatever the clock changes, will be on my Google Calendar. It's like some auto thing I subscribe to, and I'm like, oh no, this is when it's happening, and it's like, that's not when it's happening where I live. I confuse myself a lot. I recently color coded them to get a little less confused. I could also just turn it off. Like I guess I used to pay attention to the UK one when I would have like conference calls with people over there, or I watched more live British television, and so I needed to know, like, are we 5 hours behind or 4 hours behind this time of year? But now it just confuses me. I'm gonna go back up a little bit. Okay, so Mikey's sock pattern has many sizes. Ooh, yes, definitely pick the one that you think is gonna end up too big. Because this is something that I have learned by osmosis recently as someone receiving knitted socks. Someone with small feet receiving knitted socks, and the sock pattern having to definitely go up a size. So I think you are smart picking a too big size. Ooh, Joe's finishing cat 8 out of 9. Nice. Starting to research your next project. So just sort of like picking out another pattern, or are you gonna do something not cross-stitch? What are you thinking? Sam was busy with exams. Oh, gotcha. What is, oh man, okay. I think I need to, do I need to take this call? I should take this phone call. I might put up a BRB screen real quick. I feel like it's way too soon to run ads, but hopefully I will be back in just a moment. So sorry to have to dash out. This is a important person call. I feel like it's working, like it's caught up on my end, so I think it might just take a minute for it to get caught up for viewers. Sarah can see and hear me. Refresh worked. Okay, yay. Mikey says it's back. Oh, Allison got the crazy audio catch up. Yeah, that happens sometimes. Sorry about that. Okay. All right. Well, let's finally get to the warm up, and I'll fill you all in on what just happened a little bit. Oh, actually, let's do this screen. Yeah, here we go. I need a needle. I'm gonna start stitching. I need a needle to stitch. I also should close this door real quick. Yay, okay, refreshed, everyone's good to go. Welcome to folks who joined while the BRB screen was up. My landlord called, and that's always like a, don't know if I can ignore this call, what if something's going wrong? And nothing was really going on. He was like warning me about something that might happen. And my landlord is a very wonderful older man, and sometimes he just chats for a bit. And so I was like, I didn't know how to be like, hey, I need to go. But I also knew that, like, if he called and I didn't answer, I would spend the entire stream worrying what is wrong and how am I in trouble, which, you know, is not how a entirely mentally healthy person should react to these kinds of things. But I know myself. So, okay, well, let's see. That would be over 1. I should probably not start with the red, but you know what? Here we are. We're doing it. I'm starting with red. So, for anyone who is new to this stream or wants a refresher, this is the warm-up cross stitch that I like to do, that I'm going to work on right now, that just sort of reflects how many followers gained since the start of last stream. We got a little raid from Sam Bartley. What is Sam's full username? Sam Bartley Designs, who you should all check out if you like crafty and artsy streams from queer and trans kinds of folks and that kind of community. Sam Bartley is very fun. But got a couple of follows, I think, off the back of that raid. So thanks to Vintage Sogal and Island Jamie Lee. Quick shout out for those of you if you're here again. Also a little housekeeping reminder that I just remembered as I said those people's usernames out loud. Follows are anonymous right now. So if you're lurking and want to follow, you can do that without your name sort of being blasted across the screen. A little alert will come up, but it won't say your username. If you do want a little shout out, just join the chat after you follow. We'll say hi. Join in the conversation. But yeah, follows are anonymous. Did my furnace get fixed? Yes, that is part of the, like, oh no, I see my landlord calling. I'm now like, I gotta answer. For folks who weren't here 2 weeks ago, the last time I streamed, I had no heat and it was very cold. It was like potentially below freezing outside and I had no heat in here. That night, I think it only got down to the low 50s inside, which is in Fahrenheit. I'm not sure what that is in Celsius, but it's quite cold for indoors. I think it was a full week after that before my heat was fixed, before my heat was back on. I was not in town that entire time. I was in town on Monday when I could have been streaming, but I had other things taking me away from streaming. But yeah, the heat got fixed last Monday and has been working fine. However, the morning after the heat got fixed, the hot water heater went out and we had no hot water. Had to have like the gas guy come. There were so many people working in the basement. I like kind of lost that whole day of work because there was just a bunch of stuff going on. But I now have heat and hot water. It's great. It was also like a very busy week for other reasons, and I was just like, of course, everything always happens at the same time. I have not even cross-stitched, I think, a single time since the last stream. Like, I haven't stitched in my own life off of stream or anything like that. So I'm just trying to finish this, and I have these going the wrong way for this stand to be useful, but here we are. But yeah, I have been so busy. I haven't been stitching. That's part of why I was saying I was so excited to stream tonight, even though I was kind of sleepy at the start, because I just like haven't been able to set aside time to craft. And even like when I have kind of had a handful of evenings where I'm just sort of watching TV at the end of the night, I've just been so exhausted. Kind of mentally and everything, that I'm just like, I can't, like, I just need to sit here. I cannot cross stitch. Potentially also because, like, I need an easy cross stitch project right now. The Wingspan one's kind of easy, but as I will explain in a moment, it keeps being complicated. I keep messing it up in different ways. Oh, we did, Tom, was it Tom? No, Sarah resubscribed, so we'll be able to put a little stitch on the subscriber shelf after I build the rest of the spool. I did the floss first instead of the spool. Why'd I do that? Because we're just doing things in strange ways tonight. I also somehow stitched this across the bottom, but that's all right. In DC this past week, we had a day, the high was 88, and the next day it snowed. That's a slightly warmer version of what happened here. We had a day where we almost got into the 80s, but there were still feet of snow on the ground. So it was like you could walk around in shorts and a t-shirt, but in snow, like surrounded by snowbanks. Or it's like I couldn't walk through the park because the park was still covered in feet of snow, or at least a foot of snow. And yet it was so freaking warm. Oh no, Rogan, your furnace had to be turned off because of dangerous levels of carbon monoxide. And of course it had to happen when it was cold enough for it to snow in Seattle. Your hot water heater is electric, however. Well, that is good news. I mean, yeah, when our furnace was out, I was like, I'm just glad I have hot water so I can like take a warm shower, and I have an electric stove so I can, you know, heat a kettle and have some warm things. The day that my heat first went out was like an extremely cold day, lows in the single digits. But then it was like an abnormally warm week for most of the time that the heat was out. So it wasn't actually too bad. But yeah, it's dangerous heat going out in the winter sometimes. Rogan, is your furnace back on? Is the carbon monoxide situation fixed? Because, wow. And Ace, yes, I did get a haircut again. I'm going to a wedding soon, so I needed to look sharp. The Midwest is reasonable. Today's high was just above freezing. Won't have a high of 92 and 92? You're gonna have a high of 92 on Friday? That's wild. It's March. Thanks, Ace. Door's grandpa had to get a new wood stove fitted. Guys messed up on the pipe and he couldn't use it because it was filling the room with smoke. You had to go get it fixed last Tuesday. Wow, we're all having bad, like, heating problems. Rogan, it was fixed on Saturday. Okay, good. And you have space heaters. Yeah, we had to pick up a space heater because did not have one before. Those things are amazing. Dangerous. You gotta be safe with them, but like, wow. It made a huge difference. It really did make all of the difference. Okay, reasonable because it'll take a week to warm to 92, but that still is so warm. Now I'm curious what... Okay, I better not do it on my computer so it doesn't freak out and freeze again. But I'm curious what it's going to be here on Friday. I mean, it's pretty warm today. It's in the 50s right now. That's warm for New England. No, it's going to be a high of 53 here on Friday. So we are not getting whatever heat wave the Midwest is. Yet another stream where I feel like I just need like a deep exhale after a bunch of stuff happened. Tom's getting up to around 60 on Friday and would prefer over 92. Yeah, I would agree with that. Allison's fridge broke last week. Why is everyone's appliances breaking? One time in Ohio in February, it went from the 20s to over 80 within 24 hours. Yeah, it's wild when that happens sometimes. The opposite of that kind of is the plot of a Chuck Klosterman novel. Like, takes place in a small town in the South or in the Midwest. Must be the Midwest. And it was like a super warm day in the 80s. And then all of a sudden a blizzard happened and like a ton of people died because they were just like not prepared for a blizzard that wasn't supposed to happen. Needs a big deep breath, Redeem. You know what? That's not a bad idea, Joe. Oh, that's yeah, that thank you for that, Joe. I feel like short of having a deep breath, let's do some wrist stretches / shoulder stretches as well. Just like getting all the creaks out. It is a creaky creak. That's how my joints feel. That's some of the sound effects you missed out on the first week I had those alerts, and I was so excited, not realizing no one could hear them the whole time. Doing a little bit of finger massage. If anyone else is crafting, you should use this opportunity for some wrist stretches as well. Or if you've been sitting for a while, stretch out your body some way. Do some neck rolls, some shoulder rolls, whatever would feel good for your body if you've been in one position or doing some micro movements for a while. Let's see, Dor says it's 8 degrees Celsius here, expected to go 18 on Wednesday and then back to 9 on Friday. Yeah, that up and down, that'll get you a pressure headache or some allergies going on. Okay, what was I saw this from another streamer, something like this. You put your fingertips to your shoulder. That feels pretty good. Hey, Coconut. Welcome in, welcome in. At the moment, I'm doing some wrist stretches because Joe redeemed some wrist stretches with channel points. But we are cross-stitching, generally. Ulnar nerve glides. Oh yeah, did you or someone else tell me that last time? Or I had a nerve glide is something my physical therapist taught me. But Coconut, we are cross-stitching. At the moment, I am cross-stitching a little warm-up design that I do at the start of every stream that just recognizes the follower growth since last stream. But soon I'm going to be working on some custom Wingspan tabletop game organizers. Wingspan being a popular tabletop game. Maybe you've heard of it, maybe you've not, but it has lots of little pieces, and I've designed some custom pieces out of plastic canvas that I'm cross-stitching. We're gonna work on that a little bit more today. Okay, I'm almost feeling ready to get back to cross-stitching. Thanks for the follow. Follows are anonymous, but if you want to say hi in the chat, you are always welcome to do so. And Coconut, since you were asking about what we're doing here, I'll just put, that's a little bit more information about this particular pattern, which is the warm-up pattern. Little spool shelf reflecting followers. And so that most recent follow will be reflected in next week's spool shelf, because I go from the start of stream to start of stream. Thanks for the follow. And once I finish up with this spool, we'll add to the subscriber shelf, get a little stitch in there for Sarah's resub. 5-month streak. I gotta make sure that I have 6-month sub badges made, and if not, make those. Oh, and I saw who said this was funny. Was it? Sarah. Yeah, can I opt out of the appliance breaking club? I wish you that. I hope that you can opt out. We are all having many appliance problems. I really hope we've had the last of them. I'm gonna knock on wood. I have 1 month to make it. I think other people might be at like 6 months though. I'm not sure. Does that even mathematically make sense? Because I got affiliate in September. So maybe. Yeah, maybe. And maybe I have, because I'm looking at the sub badge that shows up by my chat name, and it's 1 ahead of yours, Sarah. So maybe I've already done it. And then I think the next one I'd have to make is for 1 year. I got time. I have until September. Okay. Oh, do I want to? I might just get rid of this floss. The preceding creation? I'm not entirely positive what you're asking, Coconut, if you want to try rephrasing. But alright, so we are going to do 1 little stitch up on the shelf here, our subscriber shelf. Deoxyribo Twitch says my 6-month renewal is March 29th. That is getting close. And let's see. Let me look at March. Because next week I will not be here again next week, which I think is already updated on my Twitch schedule. But I will be here the 30th. So that'll be, I don't know if you have to resubscribe before the renewal goes up. But you will be reflected on the sub shelf then anyways, if you so wish to be, so wish to renew. Maybe I need to also refresh my stream manager, because it has been frozen since I was frozen for all of you. Although I don't really need, so long as the chat's going. This is taking forever to get this floss on this needle. Come on. Come on. Bam, there we go. Okay, so let's add another stitch here to represent Sarah's resub. That's funny. I feel like when it showed up before, it said like 5 months, and now it says 6 months over here. I don't know what that's about, but thank you for the resub. Thank you for holding up the shelf, for holding up the channel, metaphorically and literally supporting the channel. Thank you for that. And now we can move on to Wingspan, and I have to explain what happened here because something occurred right before I went live. Coconut, what passion do I have, like, beyond just this passion? Books, history, pumpkins, waffles. Speaking of waffles, today is the last day to get any of my merch. I've had a merch shop for many, many years through DFTBA Records, and I am closing the shop. So if you would like a lapel pin version of that emote that Deoxyribo just put in the chat, or a Will It Waffle t-shirt, I've also got, here we can go, I'll show you the merch store. How about that? I can also put it in the chat. Yeah, closing up the merch store. I would like to have new merch in the future, but the stuff that is currently there, that is all, like, this is literally tonight is your last chance to ever buy any of it. Fortunately, it is on deep sale, at least the t-shirt. The t-shirt is $10, and it's usually like $30. Some of the other stuff is like a discount. But I have, like, I'll run through all that I have. Let me do some kind of screen share here. Okay, we'll turn on screen capture. I gotta pick application. Oh, let's see. Can I do just like a, so you don't see? I'll just zoom in. Okay. So I'm gonna do a little merch tour. All right. So we got Will It Waffle t-shirts. This is my old YouTube series, Will It Waffle. Some of you used to watch it. I love these t-shirts. They were designed by Riley. Not sure if Riley's last name is public, but Riley_desk on Instagram. Amazing artist, children's book illustrator, graphic designer. They're very, very cool. So Will It Waffle t-shirts, $10 right now. Most sizes still available from XS to XXL. I've also got these Queerstory lapel pins. So like queer history, you can rep queer history. As with any lapel pin, it could make a great needle minder. You got to snap the needle off yourself and do it safely, so you need a little bit of DIY elbow grease there, but that is that. These pens, I actually still love these pens. I think that they're silly, but they are just pens that say you can't erase me, with a with a little trans symbol. I'm still a YouTuber. I was literally working on a YouTube script today, but yes, I've been making videos on YouTube since 2007, so I'm an old school YouTuber who struggles to keep up with the trends, and hence why my merch store is closing, because I'm not active enough to keep it open. But yeah, you can get a 4-pack of pens for $5. They say you can't erase me because they're pens which are not erasable, and I still think that's a really funny joke. You can't erase trans people, and you can't erase ink. That's how that works. And then, yes, we have the binders, which, you know, I feel like if I had just done a better design, if I'd hired Riley to do this design for me instead of doing it myself, maybe they would have been better. But they're still funny, and if you need binders and you want a little silly joke on it, there you go. I just thought it would be really funny if I could tell people that I sold binders as if I was selling binders to transmasculine people to compress their chests, but indeed they were just 3-ring binders. So, still plenty of those available. Oh, Joe! Put in an order 2 weeks ago. Thank you so much. I think there are still pens available if you would like to get more. I'm not sure what the shipping charges are like with DFTBA, though. That might not be an economical decision. And the lapel pins, which I was just using as a needle minder. These are the Willet Waffle lapel pins. These were designed by Acacia Ludwig in the very early days of Willet Waffle back in 2014. I love these little guys. They are also emotes here on Twitch. So, like, if you want a lapel pin of some of my emotes, this is your chance. Yeah, there we go. Thanks, Mikey. Little emote version. There's also these little buttons. You can get the happy one or the sad one, which I call waffle. Because it's awful, waffle. And then we got these little magnets, which is the original Willet Waffle design from the early days of Willet Waffle. Sorry, losing my mouse a little bit here. There we go. These are actually very good magnets. I feel like I sourced these quite well. They're very strong, and they've got good surface area. They're about this big. So good magnets there. That's sold out. That's with my... Oh, and then that's sold out too. Okay. So these are what we got. But yeah, if you're interested in lapel pins, especially to make needle minders for all you cross-stitchers, or if you need some binders for school or work or organizing your, household affairs, got some pens. Everyone needs pens. Willet Waffle t-shirt, Queer Story pins. Oh, Sarah, yeah, there's a waffle festival in town. I want to go. That sounds great. A binder with a treasure chest on it for a chest binder. See, I knew there's so many ways that this could have been a better design. Should have asked you, Allison. But anyway, so if any of you are interested in any of that, this is literally the last night. I know this is the last night of the sale. My understanding is that they are taking it all down tonight. There's a slight chance it could be up longer, maybe at full price again. I don't know. I don't fully understand it all. DFTBA is doing a spring cleaning sale right now, so also if there are any other creators that you like who sell their stuff from DFTBA, you can go to the larger website as well, beyond just my storefront, and lots of things are on a big sale right now. They're doing like a spring cleaning of their warehouse, so lots of things are on sale. I am having, a bit of feelings about my merch going away soon, but also, as I kind of said, like, not all of this is like super reflective of like what I do anymore. I'm not entirely sure what I do anymore. But I am having a lot of fun here on Twitch. I'm having a lot of fun kind of, even though it doesn't super show to any of you yet, I'm having fun doing a little bit of like world building behind the scenes as I kind of like come up with design and stuff for different alerts. And I definitely see how I could turn some of that into some fun merch and products down the line. So hopefully I'll have more merch again in the future. But if you want any of the old school stuff, this is your last chance. Joe, it says it was delivered. Wait, that's so fun. And Rogan's Queer Story pin was shipped today. Yay, thank you all so much for anything you buy saves me space in my basement and also helps me pay the heating bill. So I appreciate you very, very much. But I think even more than that, it feels fun that, anyone is still interested in some of the stuff that I do online. Do I have binder brands that I recommend? Okay, so I do feel like I am a little out of the loop on this because I haven't kept up with it in a while, and I feel like there has been an explosion of brands, and now I can't even remember the name of the main one that I liked that was newer 10 years ago, so I'm not even sure if they're still around. I will say that a company that I like that has a few of their own original products, but they also, I believe, retail other products. Is called Trans Guy Supply. Yes, GC2B. That's what I was thinking. Okay, GC2B, I would have recommended 10 years ago. I don't know if I can vouch for them still today, but you can look up GC2B. And then Trans Guy Supply, I think, is just a good resource. If they make their own binders, I don't know if I would vouch for Trans Guy Supply's binders, but Trans Guy Supply as like a community and a resource on like their website and Instagram and newsletter is a really, really good resource. Maybe not necessarily for the teens to go to. Some of it's a little bit more adult leaning. But if you as an adult ally want to go there so you can learn a little bit, and I'm sure they have resources somewhere where they will recommend other things. That's what I would say. GC2B was still good in 2021. Okay, great. Yeah, so look up GC2B and then, Tomboy X. Yeah, Tomboy X back in the day, I feel like their compression tops and stuff were really more for smaller bodies. I don't know if that's still true. So, depending who you're helping out, Sarah, but also who, anyone else who's listening and needs these resources, there's always kind of been a handful of companies where it's like their products really only work if you have a small body in many ways, definitions of the word. Yeah. Also, taping is I'll just give a PSA about that real quick. There are some people with smaller chests who like to use KT tape or kinesiology tape. That is the only kind of tape that you should use. Some people will try DIY things with duct tape and stuff. Do not use that. It's very bad for your skin, your nerves, your muscles, all of that. Not only might you damage your body, but you can also actually make yourself ineligible for top surgery down the line if that's something you're interested in, because of the damage that you can do to your skin and everything there. So don't use anything else, but if the teens that you're talking to, Sarah, or if anyone else listening has been interested in taping, yeah, so KT tape is the main brand, but then there at least used to be a brand called Trans Tape that uses kind of the same product, but they make it like bigger and a little bit more for sensitive skin areas. But again, that is only effective with like smaller chests. And also, I would still give a warning of like taping is binding is also not completely safe, but I think taping, your mileage may vary. And yes, to just shout out, Sam says Underworks is also cool. I used to use Underworks. I switched to GC2B when they came about because I felt like their fabrics were just a little bit softer. The seams along like all of the hems were a little bit smoother and cleaner, so they just felt more comfortable. But Underworks is kind of like the OG. They've been around for a couple of decades at least. They're just like not as aesthetically pleasing. Maybe they are now. 10 years ago they weren't, but now that the market is more competitive, maybe they are. And do not do the ace bandage route either, as Tom says. Yeah, probably most of us have tried some version of that, but don't do that either. That will compress your lungs, not just like the fat on your body. So yeah, no ace bandage, no tape unless it is KT tape or ideally Trans tape. And no matter what you are using to compress your chest, do not do it overnight. Don't do it when you're working out. It should, at maximum, be like 8 hours a day. So, like, go to school, come home, take it off. Go to work, come home, take it off. Stuff like that. It doesn't, just because something is, I don't know where I'm going with that sentence, but, like, just be cautious with everything. The aesthetics of Underworks are still the same. Yeah, they are, yeah. Underworks was great. I had so many Underworks binders. Well, not so many. I think I had 2, and one of them I didn't like, so I didn't wear it. Ace, I'm so glad you remember that from my book about Shakespeare in Love. Yeah, if anyone who hasn't seen Shakespeare in Love or doesn't know what it's about, it's like Gwyneth Paltrow plays a woman who wants to act, but in Elizabethan era, women couldn't act on stage, so she dresses up as a young man so that she can be cast in a Shakespeare play, and then she falls in love with Shakespeare, And then there's a love scene where he takes what is essentially an ace bandage off of her chest as she sort of takes off her young man costume. And it's pretty embarrassing to think about how much that was my favorite movie as a teenager. No point in wearing the ace bandage unless a hot Shakespeare twirls you out of it, though. Exactly, Tom. That's what we're saying. That is what we're saying. Okay, I've just been, like, sitting here talking in this little box, so let me tell you all what's going on here. And in fact, let's go to where I can have my iPad up so you can see the pattern I designed a little bit, and so I can keep track of it. So let's go here. And of course the iPad has to reconnect, because that's what it does. Boop, ba-doop, ba-doop, ba-doop. There we are. All right, so far away. Wingspan. It is a tabletop game about birds, and there are lots of little pieces. So I have made a number of containers that I am decorating with cross-stitch to hold all the little pieces of the game. One of the things that I'm making containers for are these little food tokens that you get to pay for, feed the birds, and whatever. And there's things like grain and fish and rats and snakes and nectar. And I made, this was grain. I made this one already. So I'm making them to look kind of like little birds' nests that you put the tokens in. And I just designed all of this myself, so this isn't from like someone else's pattern. And today I'm hoping that we can get to the fish. The problem is, right before I started streaming, I was looking at this and I realized that I messed part of it up again. I've frogged this 2 or 3 times already. It's so annoying. Yeah, this row right here is not supposed to be there. So I started trying to frog it shortly before the stream. But unfortunately, the part that I was able to loosen up didn't keep going that way. It started going this way. So I need to kind of fix some of that, and I might see what I can kind of do here. But if it starts taking too long, then I'm just going to get into the fish, because I'm excited to just have some color on this and do the fish and make a bunch of fish in the stream jokes. Melby, hey! Foiled again by time zones, and probably the time change, too. But welcome in. I'm glad you're here. And you know what? I accidentally had to take a long phone call with my landlord in the first hour of the stream, so you didn't miss too much. Speaking of, that should have saved us from ads for a while. Okay, we got about 10 minutes till an ad. Yeah, Ace, I think we talked about that with Shakespeare in Love last time, of like, it's good. Best Picture good? I don't know. Speaking of Best Picture, Sinners should have won. I say, did I see any of the Best Picture nominees from the Oscars last night? I saw Frankenstein, if that was nominated for Best Picture. I think it was. I've been meaning to see Sinners. I feel like Sinners and One Battle After Another were the two that, like, I heard the most good things about, and a lot of people saying, like, this wasn't just the best movie of 2025, this is the best movie I've ever seen in my life, for both of them. But more for Sinners, which is why I was like, Sinners should win. I need to watch Sinnings too. Oh, Joe, thank you for the kind words about the merch. The pins write great, look great, and the pens write great. The pins are so shiny and cute. Thank you. Just a little Texan elocution lesson. In the South, we pronounce pens and pins the same way. Okay, gotta do a good Guinness pour here. Oh, I also saw Weapons. Yes, Amy Madigan winning. I mean, that was a really freaky character in that movie. I did not enjoy the experience of watching her character. However, that was a real testament to her acting ability. So it was a well-earned award for someone who sounds like has been in the industry for a long time and maybe not been heralded as much as she should. The pins admittedly do not write very well. That's okay. They're not meant to, so I'm okay with that. All right, while the Guinness settles. So I've got this piece that I could start stitching with, and then this is what I was frogging. But I think what I need to do is stitch this back a little bit, because I had to frog more than what I actually needed to take off. So I'm going to start with that. And as I try to figure out how to fix my mistakes... Oh, I just found a bigger mistake. There is somehow a knot... Wait, where we go? There we go. In the tail of this floss. Oh, no. No wonder the needle just, like, stayed so securely in there for so long. Alright, so what am I gonna do about this? I have to see if it'll come out. Oh, maybe I can just pull it out. It may be working. Haha! Oh, but then there's a knot left there. Well, maybe that's okay. Again, these are meant to be birds' nests. They can be imperfect. And while they can be imperfect, I still want, like, the little food things to look nice. And, like, I play this game, I'm gonna look at these a lot. I want them to look mostly nice. Which is why, like, having it be a whole row off was gonna annoy me forever. So I'm trying to get rid of this row. But, alright. So we'll set this aside for now. I'm gonna attempt to thread this if we can. Might have to... Apologies if you just got that ASMR of me wetting the floss. Okay. But yes, as I try to fix my mistakes, we're about an hour into the stream, so shout out in the chat how any of your projects are going. A little status update from folks. Floss wetting ASMR sounds like one of the more niche categories. Yeah, no kidding. I do think I was involved in, like, 2 different short plays in my time with the experimental theater company, the New York Neo-Futurists. 2 different plays that involved floss ASMR. So, dental floss, though. I do think embroidery floss is much more of a niche category, but dental floss, maybe not quite as much. Oh, Allison's knitting socks. So is Mikey. Nice. Got some sock knitting happening. Okay. 1, 2. And then that one's that one. And that one's that one. And so we go over one more. Like that. And then maybe I just finish this one. And then I'll figure out the rest. Mikey's sock is growing slowly. Nice, nice, well done. Tom just finished dinner. Gonna be busting out the ramen bowl after dealing with dishes. Yes, the daily scourge of dishes. It's wild how many dishes one has to do every day. Ace is reading plays for your job's youth playwriting contest, and some of this is wild. That sounds like a fun task to have, though. If someone hasn't made a dental-themed stitch with dental floss, that is a missed opportunity. Oh, man. Yeah. Good point. They must have. Joe has under 20 stitches to go on El Gato Ocho. Oh, yes. Is it... I'm so not a Spanish speaker. I assume El Gato is cat, but is it gato or gato? Gato sounds more correct. We have an ad coming up in just under 3 minutes. I'm gonna keep pouring my fun beverage of the evening. So one time I was at a conference, like a fan conference in Dublin, and it was a thing where we had like a big dance on one of the nights, or we had music or something, and near the sort of auditorium area where all of that was happening, it was a big like warehouse room, but where that was happening there was kind of like a bar just out front, but it was all connected to the hotel, so a lot of us just like brought the drinks we had in our hotel room to like down to the event. And I guess I was too conspicuously drinking my can of Guinness like close to the bar where we were supposed to be paying for things, which like fair. I was in the wrong here. But I think like people had done it the night before, so I was like, okay, I guess it's like a fine thing to do. And there's this security guard for the venue, and she sees me, and she kind of is like, come over here. I think she even took me by the arm, and she like pulled me around the corner of the bar, and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna get kicked out. Like this is gonna be bad. And instead, she just grabs like a plastic cup from the bar and does the most perfect Guinness pour into the plastic cup. Like true Irish woman, she knew what she was doing, and then just like hands me the cup and is like, put it in a cup next time. And I was like, yes! I was so scared I was gonna get in trouble, and instead I like essentially got off with a warning, but I also just loved that the security guard like did the perfect pull of this, well, not pull because it wasn't from the tap, perfect pour of a Guinness. It was a great moment. I don't know, it's just it's a favorite memory of mine, and I think about it most times when I'm having a Guinness. Dora's doll has 2 half legs, almost makes 1. The top 4 plays get readings, and Ace usually acts on them as well. That's a very fun setup. That's cool. It's cool to have adults acting in some of the youth's plays, too. I like that. Sam, speaking of weird floss/stitching, I saw someone on YouTube cross-stitch an actual pumpkin. They made holes into the pumpkin, like Ada cloth holes, and then stitched eyes and a mouth. What? That's amazing. I can't believe I haven't done that. I need to do that. That's so cool. Wow, that is so up my alley. Thank you so much for sharing that. If you at all like can find that link again and send it to me, because I think I would love to try that this year, and I want to make sure that I give credit to the person who did it first. So please do share if you know. I would be very curious to hear. Okay. Now I just feel like I need to find where this floss came from. It might not be a tonight thing though, because I'm very tired. It might not be an on-stream thing either. So I might finish up these last couple of rows, and then we can move on to the fish, and I'll just like stitch around it for now. Oh, ads started, it seems. What have we stitched today? I like to try to update the counter during ads, although it's gonna be a little hard to stay accurate because I've frogged so many things and not kept track of what I'm frogging. So the total of this pattern may not be accurate, but I'll try to keep the today total updated. Excuse me. Oh no, so close. There we go. Oh, that's fun, Sarah. 6. I picked the number 6. You gotta tell me which color, which hanklerfish color that ends up being. Also, how many hanklerfish have you done? Alright. Gonna stitch some rows here. Oh, completed 1. Okay, but that's still great. And oh, we were all so impressed. I think you left the stream before we got to your project and show and tell last time. But all of us were just like in awe. I'm remembering now what it looked like, or I remember some of it, but it was just like, was it like a lot of little hanklerfish? There was like a rainbow effect or something. Sunset desert kind of vibe with fabric and floss color. Okay, cool. Yeah, if I'm remembering correctly, I am not at all surprised that you have only done one, because it was very extensive and super, super cool. So well done. Okay, this knot in the floss is really not working here. I just keep, like, it keeps being flung all over. The floss will be Water Lilies 184 Scheherazade. Scheherazade. I feel like I've seen that written out before and I've never said it out loud. Now I'm like, I don't know how to say that out loud. Okay, I gotta hold on to this as the knot goes through so I don't fling it all over the place. It's not working. Yep, har har. That is exactly it. You're all so much better at puns than I am. There you go. Knot. K-N-O-T. Tom forcibly stopped himself from making this joke. Glad someone said it. I'm glad someone said it too, because I was not thinking that. The fabric is Atomic Ranch Fabrics Bayou color. Wow, cool. Welcome back from the ads, folks who were gone for those. I was just chatting with Sarah a little bit there about her amazing Hanklerfish project that she's been working on that we saw on Show and Tell last week. I might wait until later this month to do Show and Tell again. But if you haven't been here for a Show and Tell before, we just have like a little anonymous site that you can submit a picture of your project to, like a progress picture. And then we check them out on stream, and it's really fun to see like visuals of what people have been describing in the chat, what they're working on. But I don't think we'll do it tonight. We'll do it at the end of the month. That way folks can like have some good progress to show off. You know, don't want to do it too frequently, because especially for us cross-stitchers, sometimes you just feel like you don't have too much to report, even though you've been working so hard. Especially if you have to frog your project so many times, like I've been doing lately with everything that I'm cross-stitching. Oh, I did, let's see, I shared it on Instagram. I don't think I've shared it on stream yet, but I did have a recently finished project, and that was one that I also had to frog so many pieces of. There was one part of it that I think I might have done 4 times. And it should have been so simple. It was another design that I like self-drafted. I came up with it. And so that's part of the problem. I think the things that I'm designing myself, I keep messing up because I'll like maybe make changes to it as I'm physically doing it versus what I designed on the computer. And then as I like make those, like change those decisions, then it gets really hard to keep it neat. I don't know, but yeah, I've been doing so many designs that I designed, and I think that's part of why I've been having to redo so many things lately. I think I had like one afternoon sometime in the last month, like a weekend afternoon, where I sat down and I just pulled out a pattern that I hadn't worked on for a very long time, but it's just like a very, very large pattern I bought from like an Etsy pattern designer, and it's just on like 14 count Ada, someone else's pattern. I'm just following it, just real classic cross stitching, and I like really needed that to sort of reset myself, because everything else that I currently have going are things that I have designed, and a lot of them are not on normal cloth, because I've got this one, these are like on the plastic. I've got the bag. Can I come get this out without spilling everything? I've got the bag that goes with this. So this is on waste canvas, and it's just like hard to see. And then some of you were here when I started the Ninja Turtles jean jacket. I'm still mad at it. Haven't worked on it again. That's also waste canvas, but it's waste canvas on like a denim jacket that has had like a design painted over it, and the design is so hard to stitch through that I have to use a sewing needle, and then I kept stabbing myself. I stabbed myself real bad one time. Oh, Sam, sorry that you got caught in the links. Oh, Caterpillar cross stitch. Oh, cool, cool, cool. Okay, I'm gonna copy these links, open them in another tab to check out later. Thank you so much for sharing those with me. Okay, no, don't autoplay. Stop, stop, stop. I was trying to prevent that from happening. It didn't work. How to cross-stitch a pumpkin. Oh, from 8 years ago. Okay, algorithm has not served me their 8-year-old video. I see a lot of their newer shorts. How to cross-stitch a jack-o'-lantern. Oh my god, that's so fun. I've been really wanting to cross-stitch, like, the wicker back of a chair or something, you know? Like, I'm definitely into the bigger cross-stitching. Although, as I was just whining about, I think I currently have too many projects that are a little too creative, that are not on normal cross-stitch fabric, and it's making me tired because they're all slower going. Would it be more reasonable feeling if it was just straight denim? Sarah asks. Yes, it would, because there are pieces of it that I am stitching over that do not have like the painted over part, and I can get a normal embroidery needle through that, no problem. So just straight denim would be easier. So if anyone here is like thinking that they wanted to stitch or embroider a little design on some denim, yeah, don't let this deter you. It's the fact that this had like a painted on pattern on top of it, and that is what is hard to get through, not the denim. The denim is super easy. Goes through like butter. It does all sound really cool, Sam. I really thank you for sharing that. Okay, I'm gonna have to Danish stitch this a little bit, even though I've been trying to avoid that on this particular pattern, because since it's 3D, I want the back to look fairly neat, and it doesn't super, but you get better coverage with the English stitching, where you complete a full stitch instead of just half stitches and going back. So I've been avoiding the Danish half stitching, but I did this unevenly at some point, and so I need to like get over there, and then I can come back. Current purse is getting close to dying. Thinking of recycling my old jeans into a new purse. It would be cool to cross-stitch designs. Yeah, oh, I've seen people like turn jeans into purses before. But you're so right, like, as a cross-stitcher, you should decorate it even more than having it, like, just the jeans. That would be super fun. You just gotta decide what to do. I would recommend getting some waist canvas, though. That's what it's referred to. It's just, like, a type of Aida cloth you can buy. It's mostly sold in 14 count. I recently found some 18 count. But yeah, it's mostly sold in 14 count, and you just, like, pin or stitch it onto whatever you want to use it for. And then when you're all done, you can like spray it with water or sort of like submerge it. It doesn't dissolve as easily as some people say it does. You usually have to actually like get some tweezers out and pull it fiber by fiber, but it does come out from behind your stitches, and then it looks like you stitched directly on there, but you actually got to use a bit of a grid to keep things neat. Oh, my idea with the wicker chair sounds cool. Have one actually, and now want a giant needle to get started. The wicker chair thing, I think I also saw from Caterpillar Cross Stitch, for the record. They've done a handful of like cross stitching on things that are not cross stitch. So if you're interested in doing that, you should see any tips that they might have. I mean, basically anything that has kind of a grid, you could cross stitch in. Like my chair, I think I could do some cross-stitching, and I've thought about it, doing it on that chair. Or you can also, like, cross-stitch on knitting or crochet, or both, I forget. But, like, that's a thing I've seen people do. The world is your oyster. I do not think I'm going to have enough floss to get all the way to the bottom here. And I think what I would want to do is when I get more floss, I want to use it to fix whatever I'm gonna have to frog, which means I might not do it on stream. I think we might just move on to fishing. One thing for folks who have not watched when I've worked on this pattern, this project, or who have forgotten, because you don't need to remember every detail I say on a Twitch stream. Another thing that I'm doing to give it kind of a bird's nest effect is I'm using blended threads. And in this case, I'm actually using 3 different shades of brown mixed together. So I have 3 different like DMC floss numbers. And then I have them all bent in half. So I'm essentially stitching with 6 strands here. This particular plastic canvas I have pretty much equates to like 10 count Aida. So it's a lot bigger, not a lot, but it's bigger than 14 count, which is kind of the standard. There will be a quiz. Yeah, what if I started quizzing you on stuff that I say? I feel like I would fail a quiz on things that I said on Twitch. Like, I probably don't remember most of what I say. That's what's kind of fun on occasion, like when I have the time of making clips, because I usually do it like the next morning, and I kind of scrub through a VOD, and I'm like, wow, I talked about that? I don't remember that at all. Which could be dangerous. Can be dangerous. Okay, I need to play a little floss chicken, because I would really like to finish this gap. Oh, but I did the Danish stitches, so it kind of doesn't matter. Alright, never mind. See, I'd fail my own quiz about what I'm doing. Ugh. Alright, that is that. So there's stuff to still fill in, and I've got to get rid of the rest of this row. But I need to kind of look at it a lot more closely to figure out the neatest way that I can do that. I was able to get rid of part of this section because I could very clearly see where I had tucked the floss under. And so I was able to pull it out pretty easily. But then it just stopped going in the direction I needed it to, and that complicated things. So now I need to see it again. So I think we should just do the fish now. And I'm pretty sure I have the floss with me. That's not what I want. Okay, 996. We're going to start with the border, which is 996. Whoops. And here's my little project bag. I see one blue. This is the lighter blue that we need. Oh, I think I see it. 996. Bam. Okay. Wow, I'm so sleepy still. Anyone else sleepy? Okay. It's got 996. I don't think I've used this before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. Sarah's a little sleepy. Sam's very sleepy. You're all sleepy because I'm boring you, right? Exactly it. Thanks for that, Mikey. Always gotta have a little shiny teeth in me. When we were just talking about, like, has anyone done some kind of, like, dental floss themed cross-stitch project, or embroidery project, I suppose, just anything with embroidery floss. I was like, man, I should do a Chip Skylark shiny teeth in me pattern of some sort. Maybe one day. I don't know why Chip Skylark has always just like stuck with me as, wow, what a cool character. And just the song is so good. And it's all about dental hygiene. We love dental hygiene. Take care of your teeth. Play a little song while you floss. Keep Frog and Toad in the shot. Because it's such a good needle minder. This was a gift from Limical, and I love it very much. I love Frog and Toad. I would like to live the Frog and Toad life, where you just like wake up and do cozy things in nature with your buddy. Or perhaps your romantic partner, as Frog and Toad most likely were. Okay, so we're gonna start at the top because that part's not messed up, and I need to try to cover these with my stitches. Oh, and then Sarah redeemed change needle minder. Okay, goodbye, Frog and Toad. How about Mr. Frog and Toad? I don't use this one on stream too much, I don't think. The world. It's the whole world that we're gonna use. Oh, the world's upside down. Is there an upside down for the world? This is just a little bit of South America, Africa, Europe, the Middle East. I think we got Greenland up there. A little bit of Canada. That's all that's on this globe. Oh, it's past Sam's bedtime, but you're a stubborn toddler refusing to go to bed. Well, thank you, but I'm having fun with you being here, and I'm a big proponent of getting enough sleep. So, if you need to sleep or if you fall asleep, don't feel bad at all. I would be in support of that. Did I put this on a needle yet? Yes, I did. How about that? I also tangled it a bunch, but I think it'll be fine. Famous last words. No, seems to be fine. Okay, we don't need you right now. Well, let's clean the area. Keep it tidy. All right, time to go fishing. Let's start the fish token. Very exciting. It has been months since I have done the fun food token part of one of this project. Like, I did the nectar and I did the grain, but both of those were pretty much done in December. And now it's March. It's mid-March. I returned a phone call today that I thought I was just like maybe a week and a half late in returning this call, and then I like went back to the voicemail, and it was exactly a month ago that I got this phone call. So I returned a call a month late. I knew I was returning it a little bit late, but turns out it was an entire month. So, whoops. The blue looks very nice. Thank you. Yeah, I think this is, like, of the whole set that I designed, I think these two blues are maybe my favorite. So I've been eager to get to the fish, because I like these blues. I think I will enjoy them. I totally am just stitching over 2 instead of 6. Okay. Time to undo it again. That's how tired I am. I was like, this really is just not getting very good coverage. It's because it's only 2 strands. It's a third of the amount of strands it should be. What did I do there? That is under a very tiny fiber. Stick the needle under and see what happens. Ah. Oh, hey, Ritoto. Welcome in, welcome in. I was gonna ask you more questions, but if you're a little lurky, that's okay. I was just curious what color you're painting your nails. If you're painting them, or you're just doing them, does not always mean color. But hi, welcome. Good to see your name. Tom, you with phone calls? Yeah. And like, it wasn't an urgent call, it was fine, but yeah, I was still like, oh my gosh, that's a little embarrassing that it's much longer time than I thought it was. Alright. Hopefully this is the last thing I frog tonight. Yeah. Come on. Gotta get this out. Then we'll get you 2 buddies, and then it'll be 6 strands instead of 2. How does that sound, Mr. Floss? Alright, here we go. Oop. Pardonnez-moi. So I think I mentioned that it's been a rainy day here. But in addition to being a rainy day, my neighbors built kind of a new shed-ish thing over the weekend that has like a metal roof that is quite close to this office that I'm in right now. And so I can hear the rain a lot more loudly. I don't think it's probably picking up on the microphone at all, but like it adds a real good ambiance to the little comfy jazz music we've got going in the background. But yeah, rain will apparently be much louder for me now. Because of my neighbors, which I think I'm okay with. The last place that I lived there like 5 or 6 years, I think. Yeah, something like that. When did I move in there? Yeah, I lived there 6 years. Anyways, that I was on like the second floor there, and above the porch on the first floor, there was a tin roof, and that was like right outside my bedroom window, and so rain was always super, super loud, which was sometimes annoying, but mostly was just like a good vibe. Like it felt nice. And so this is actually making me a little nostalgic of like, oh, it's like my old roof. I can hear the rain so clearly, loudly, resonantly. I'm not sure what the best word is there. All right, we got 6 strands of the blue now. Can do this for real. Been teasing this fish for at least 90 minutes, for weeks on end. Finally gonna do it. Also, we're so not even getting to the actual fish of the design today. Probably just doing the border. But it is at least a color. Sarah's sleep sounds are rain, so that would make you sleepier. You know, that could be a big reason why I'm so sleepy today. That could be it. I feel like rain really does just lull you to sleep. While I love a sunny weekend day so I can do lots of things outdoors, I also love being able to like sleep in on a rainy morning. And you know, that's kind of just a Saturday thing. So like, I guess I like a rainy Saturday on occasion. Just the idea of yeah, I don't know, waking up to the sound of rain, and maybe there's just a tiny bit of like daylight sunshine behind the rain, and you just stay laying in bed listening to the drops on the trees or on your neighbor's metal roof. It's a good vibe. The fish jokes will hold until next time. Yeah, thanks, Tom. I didn't even prepare many fish jokes. I was mostly just making puns about the stream. We're fishing in the stream, catching fish on the stream, in the stream. Cozy rainy days, good, so long as it doesn't turn into 5 of those in a row. Yeah, I hear that. I get a little tired of the rain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is ultimately going to be 7. Is that correct? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes! I'm fishing for compliments! That was pretty good. I wasn't, but I do appreciate the pun. Favorite... Oh, clearest childhood memories, looking out the window when it's pouring outside. My mom is ironing and listening to Bruce Springsteen and Tracy Chapman. Oh, Sam, that does sound wonderful. I love that. Good music combo, too. That's some good music taste you were raised on. Dora has a sudden urge to make so many bead bracelets, but they don't have any beads or elastic. That is a conundrum. But man, do I understand those urges. Sometimes I'm just like, out of nowhere, all of a sudden... It's almost like a food craving, which I get very specific food cravings, but it'll be like to do something or to learn something, and it feels a lot like a food craving, but it's just like a very specific, now I need to make beaded bracelets, and I'll like get fixed on it. We're all hooked on Jack's streams. Surely not KNOT fishing for compliments. Yeah, you two are doing my job better than me. It's great. Yes, Joe, I can understand that you would avoid ending on a 6-7 when counting. I'm just realizing that I did that. That's funny. Heck yeah, you're my hype people. I love it. Carp diem. That would be a funny cross stitch of just like stitch a fish and then say carp diem. Well, stitch a carp specifically and then say carp diem at the bottom. I think that'd be really funny. Okay, Dora's other urge to go outdoors and draw with chalk, but it's dark. I had the urge to draw with chalk for today, earlier today, but I like have not thought about drawing with chalk in forever. I just noticed something in my basement that was like a maintenance person at some point circled something in chalk, and then I was like, I could draw in chalk on my basement walls. And I shouldn't, but like, I thought about it. I also don't think I have chalk. Oh no, I do. I don't have like street chalk, but I have like blackboard chalk. Ooh, draw daffodils. We're close to daffodil season here. I cannot wait for daffodil season. Okay, I just needed to make this a little bit more distinct to see where I'm going. So we did these. And now I'm on the second row. Street chalk. Yes, street chalk. Why can't I just be given money to cross stitch even though I'm not super amazing? Yeah, right? Imagine just like somehow getting paid to literally just like sit all day and cross stitch while you listen to an audiobook or podcasts or watch TV or Twitch or something like that. It's daffodil season there already, Dor. I'm jealous. I mean, there are some daffodils in my dining room right now from a bouquet, but wild daffodils are not appearing in people's yards just yet. I think that's going to be more of an April or perhaps even May thing. Sarah says you'll even review the books, etc. afterwards. I mean, you say that. That is part of what then makes it start to feel like a job, but still better than a lot of jobs. I feel like I'd be a terrible book reviewer or like an anything reviewer. Like I generally just like things. I can definitely critique things, but I think my critiques often are more like, I don't like more like an academic definition of critique. Like I'm like really engaging with the book or the movie or what have you, but I'm not necessarily saying like, here's what was bad about it. Like I feel I would just say things like, wow, this reminded me of this, and I wonder if they did this because of this or this historical context, which I understand can be a version of reviews, but I think especially in our sort of like commodified book talk world, I don't think that I would do very well. I also am like so scared of if I reviewed something poorly, like if I said not nice things about it, and then that got back to the creator, and I would feel really bad. I don't think that I could stand by my own opinions enough to like defend myself to the creator. Oh, Tom's got daffodils, but now they're under a bunch of snow. No! Yeah, Tom, so you get it. Having received negative reviews. I mean, I definitely felt this like self-consciousness about reviewing even before I had negative reviews on something that I had done. But yeah, I mean, I guess I review things that I enjoy. I just feel like the business of reviewing is like there's pressure to critique in a negative way, even though I don't think that that's all that like critique and reviewing needs to be. And in fact, in terms of like feedback, I think that's a very poor way to give feedback. But I think in like, yeah, the business of like writing reviews and such, at least maybe people earlier career feel pressured to always be negative. Maybe that's changing. Oh, Door's doll has one leg. Nice, one whole leg. I say it that way because earlier there were 2 half legs. For anyone who's just like, why is he being weird about that? Well done, Door. That's very exciting. Yeah, that's the way to balance it, Sarah. To find things that you liked or you thought would appeal to others, even if it wasn't to your taste. I think that's a good way to do it. Yeah, definitely ace for something like that. When you're responding to people's writing who like aren't maybe necessarily professionals, and especially like younger people, always having something nice and encouraging. There is one style of feed, and so this is getting more into like feedback, not like a published review. But when it comes to feedback, there's like the sandwich idea of you like start with something nice and you end with something nice, but in the middle you can have maybe the tougher critique. And, like, it doesn't even have to be nice. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be softball, but it could be, like, you know, this is the part that's really working. Just something more positive to sandwich the negative. That way, like, you can still get a critique across that you think is important to this person who's, like, working on their art. And that you have, you know, presumably you've been asked to give them feedback. But that they're not going to, like, leave feeling super defeated or, like, you hated it. Yeah. High schoolers, oh yeah, gotta make sure you don't dash their dreams at that age. Kind of at any age, but especially at that age. Both legs are sewn, but not attached because you have to make trouser legs first. Well done on having both legs sewn. Ace says, honestly think I was already doing that without trying. Yeah, you probably were, because I think it can come very naturally. Maybe even more so with, like, I think once I get to know someone, or I've, like, collaborated with them a lot, I can sometimes forget about starting or ending with a more positive perspective, because, like, we know each other and been working together more. But if I'm, like, maybe in a feedback session with someone that this is the first time I'm seeing their work, or it's the first time I've met them, I think I more naturally include nice stuff, because I'm like, I don't know, I think there's something there where it's like I just default to trying to be nicer and more encouraging when I'm newer to someone. This almost sounds bad, like I'm mean to my friends, but I mean more like, I think when you have an added context for your relationship with someone or your artistic collaboration with each other, like, it is still important to be positive and encouraging, but also, like, they also have the context for you and the fact that you already respect their work in other capacities, and so, like, can maybe receive your more critical critique and feedback without, like, needing the little sandwich of nicety. Maybe. I don't know. But anyway, so I bet the whole point was I bet you were doing that, Ace, because I think when you aren't as close with someone, that kind of naturally can come out more. Oh, and okay, so Sarah brings up a really important point about reviews, especially for, like, a review of a place to go to. There are things that are important to point out when it comes to, like, oh, this was an actual issue. Like you just said, it was a high level, even though the class didn't mention that in the description. That's important for them to know, either to be like, oops, we meant to put that in the description, or a, like, oh, good feedback from a customer, a client, that this would be helpful to them, because it would probably be helpful to other people too. Yeah, Allison, I think that's a better way of saying it. Like, you know your friend's style more, so you don't have to begin your critical assessment with an observation of their delivery or methods. That's a great way to put it. Friends would also feel more comfortable to reject negative feedback if they felt like it's unwarranted. That is true, too. Do you have an ad break coming up in, like, 2.5 minutes? Just as a heads up. We are also about 10 minutes out from 8 o'clock, which still doesn't mean anything beyond just a fun celebration. but here's your 10-minute warning nonetheless. All right, and I gotta finish this piece of floss. 3 pieces of floss. Can't forget that I'm stitching over 6. Ooh. I got the whole world under my needle. Got the whole world under my needle. 8, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bam. The blue's looking so good. Thank you. Maybe I can I hold it up closer? Yeah, I feel like the green of my whatever you call this mat is like affecting it a little bit when it's all the way down here. So I wanted to hold it up for a minute so you all could see the nice blue. First stitch of the second Hankler fish is made. Congratulations. Congratulations. Oh my gosh, this is such a relief. Okay, so the 6 strands thing with the blended threads is so annoying to start new floss on because you've got to individually pull out the strand from 3 different colors and then put them all together. But I forgot that when you're just doing 1 color and you're stitching with 6 strands, or sort of 3 because I fold them over because I do the loop start, like the DMC, excuse me, comes in 6 strands. And so if I'm using 3 the first time, that's a little annoying to pull them off. But then the second time, there's already 3 just waiting for me like this. And that's amazing. Tor, I just read your whole thing about the life skills online review and the raw sausage and your teachers. You were like, no, I didn't eat it. It was raw. I'm not an idiot. And your teacher's like, well, you might be. What? I mean, I guess fair enough. I do know, like, I remember at school, like middle school, when we were learning how to write how-to essays, and we had to write them. Like, basically the lesson was you have to be as detailed as possible. You have to really think about how you're instructing someone to do something. And so we had to like swap our how-to essays with a partner, and then we had to follow exactly what they wrote for us to do. I think the task was like blowing bubbles of bubble gum, and like you weren't allowed to use your common sense. You had to follow exactly what they said. So we had some people who like the gum never got in their mouth because the essay didn't tell them, or the paper, whatever it is, didn't tell them to put it in their mouth, or a lot of silly things like that. I was about to say, so maybe your teacher was being, you know, making some kind of, like, reference or joke in that way. But, nope, yeah, sounds like your teacher just doesn't like you. Well, I'm sorry about that. I am, however, glad that you did not eat raw sausage. We've got ads going. I'm tired. Oh, so while the ads are going, I've got floss stuck to my sleeve. Let's see. Done. Maybe 30 here. Oh, excuse me. Did all of our teachers have the same sense of humor? So I think my my progress counter is a little bit off. There we go. I think that's a little bit better. Or like, I go. There you go. It was a little out of line. Now it's better. Okay. Back to the fishing. Back to fishing. Let's see. Sarah remembers in university when I studied abroad in Japan, one of my professors one day said, "I have a present for all of you. Homework." Yeah, I would do that. I feel like that's my style of humor as a professor. Just stupid jokes like that. To your point, Ace, I do think a lot of teachers end up with a similar sense of humor. It's like dad jokes, but teacher jokes. Welcome back from ads, folks who were gone for the ads. Was just updating the stitch counter over here, getting started on this next piece of floss. Also making a couple little tweaks on the overlay. Yeah. That is a good thing to remind them, Dor, because sometimes, whether you are autistic or not, sometimes people can have really dry senses of humor, and it can be super hard to tell. That definitely happens to me sometimes. I can also be kind of like, I guess, gullible. Like, when people joke in that way, of sort of just like saying something kind of ridiculous, and I'll like believe it. At least for like half a minute. I have to be told, no, that was a joke. Okay, I'm very much enjoying getting this blue on here, and also the relative simplicity compared with all of the issues that I've had on the background of this little nest. It's feeling nice to just sort of be back in it that way. Have a little bit of simple cross-stitching going on. Excuse me. Oh, I just remembered a story that I wanted to share. I went to a show this weekend, like a youth musical, and we were just like flipping through the program beforehand and realized that there was one kid in the show who appeared, based on their bio, to be a kind of like newly out trans guy, which is very exciting. As a older, I guess, trans guy, I got very excited. I was like, oh, good for them. And they were cast as the understudy for like the lead male heartthrob of this show, and we're like, wow, that's so cool. Like, how affirming for them. Start this new school year, you know, out as trans, and like immediately get understudy for this lead role of this like really, like, you know, it's like a crush worthy male part, right? And then the show's about to start, and they're doing all the turn off your phone announcements, and then they're like, in tonight's performance, the role of this will be played by, and they announced that kid, and not only was like, oh my god, this kid now gets to be the lead in the musical months after coming out, but a huge group of students in the audience like cheered so loud for him. And I was just like, man, this kid, like, we are living in the worst times in years for trans people, but this kid is like living the dream. I was so excited for him. He did great. It was really, really fun. And I was just like, wow, this is like, you know, I've written fan fiction of my life where I transitioned in high school and got cast as the lead in the musical, and he's living that. So that was like really cool. Yeah, yeah, goosebumps for real, Sam. It was such a cool thing to see, seeing a kid be so supportive, like be in a safe enough community to be out, and then to get cast. I mean, as the understudy, but for at least one performance to get to go in as the lead. It was so cool. And I knew you would all appreciate that story too. I was like, I don't really want to, I don't know, it would be weird to try to like write that out in some kind of social media post. And I don't want to give too many details because this is a kid who deserves to keep living his apparently very awesome life. But I was like, I gotta share this with other trans people. So thank you to the trans folks and allies on this stream who I get to share that with. It was very, very fun and cool to see. Sarah, I love that headcanon. Headcanon is the official lead decided not to be able to do at least one performance because they believe in this other kid's talent. I was wondering, like, I feel like this maybe happens for youth programs sometimes. Maybe Ace can tell us. Where, like, any roles that have an understudy, the understudy gets to go on at least once. That feels like a thing that they probably do for youth theater for some companies. None of the youth theater I did, I don't think we, like, even had understudies, so that wasn't really a thing. Okay, Melby says, back once again, had a kid in a lot of classes while substituting. Oh, and this happened. Hadn't seen him in a few years, pre-everything. Like, you were one of the first adults they talked to. That's awesome. And then went to this show and saw his name and did a double take. That's so great. Oh, man. I love that. This is a thing that I think would be, like, heartwarming at any time, but I think just the climate for trans kids right now in most places, I was gonna say in the US, but just like blanket statement, most places, is so bad that it's really, really great to see that there are some communities where the kids are being supported and really getting to like thrive and be so affirmed. And, like, I do, like, it was cool seeing him get to perform, but honestly, just hearing the cheers when his name was announced at the beginning, I was like, oh, he's, like, got friends. He's got a support system. Like, that was kind of the coolest part. Oh, Sam, sorry. But also not sorry. Okay, so this is where I'm gonna need to frog this and make it blue. So that's gonna be a little annoying later, but I don't want to mess up the circle, so we're just going for it for now. Oh my gosh! In the midst of my heartwarming story, I missed 8 o'clock. It's 8:03 now. Wow. It's done. It's gone forever. No more 8 o'clock. For at least 11 hours and 57 minutes. Totally worth it. I kind of feel like it is. That said, at 8 o'clock, I was going to check in and get a progress update from everyone on your various projects. How are the socks? How are los gatos? Is that the plural of cats? How's the ramen? Hanklerfish, I think we got a recent update, but feel free to share more. Just a few stitches into the second Hanklerfish. 8 o'clock was celebrated by sharing warm, fuzzy stories about trans people. Maybe that is how we should celebrate 8 o'clock. Not really thematic, though. That wouldn't quite make sense. Oh, my stream manager finally updated. It's been frozen since I came back from that phone call. I gotta say, my stitches are not looking super neat on this blue circle. I don't think it's super showing up on camera, but like looking at it closely off the camera, yeah, they're looking a little messier than I would like. Ah, well. Aiden O'Clock. That's very good, Joe. I feel like you spelled that the way Aiden Dowling does. I'm sure there are other Aidens who spell it that way, but I'm mostly thinking of Aiden Dowling. When we stitch, we are transforming boring fabric, floss, etc. into their best potential. So sharing trans stories is on brand. Nice. That was good, Sarah. Okay, let me just count these. 2, 3, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This might even make it easier, actually, when I have to redo the brown part, now that I have the blue on here. So good. Glad I did it. Just starting the heel on your sock, says Allison, working from the toe up, so that's good progress. Oh yeah, that's like a whole foot, basically, right? Foot of a sock. What's the, like, color or kind of design or pattern that you've got going on the sock? Hi, Richard. Welcome to the chat. Hello from... I was going to say hello from Colorado. Hello to you, being from Colorado. I'm over here in New England where we've got some rain going. I'm going to Colorado later this year, though. I've been to Colorado a handful of times. Joe says, what if you start in the middle of the sock next time? Let's see, Melby's cat sitting, taking advantage of a washer dryer. Nice. And doing some photo editing. Yeah, when you do not have an in-unit washer dryer, as I did not for like 15 plus years, it's great when you like house sit or something somewhere with a washer and dryer. Yes, Richard, I am from New England, from Northeast in the US. But yeah, I'll be, I forgot where in Colorado, but I'll be in Colorado a little later this year. I was in Denver. Actually, it was probably before the pandemic, like 2018 or 2019, but I had a good time there. And then when I was little, we actually used to go camping in parts of Colorado quite often. I used to live in Texas and New Mexico, so I'm pretty familiar with kind of the southwest part of the US. I'm a fan of Colorado generally. Oh, you have an in-building, but that's still not in-unit, Melby. And if it's been non-functioning, okay, so Melby has joined the Broken Appliances Club. For those of you who weren't here earlier, a weird number of us here tonight have had malfunctioning appliances at our homes within the past week. Knock on wood, it doesn't happen to the rest of you. It might be contagious in stream. You come to this stream and some of your major appliances break. Oh, self-striping yarn, says Allison. Orange and green and red. And they did kind of start in the middle, to go to Joe's joke. Start on the top of the foot, go down to the toe, come back up to the bottom of the foot and the heel. Interesting. Yeah, Melby, you're in good company here. We've had broken furnaces, broken water heaters, broken, I think, like wood fire stoves or something, broken fridges. Oh, Joe. We all thought you were talking about socks. Would it be feasible to do the circle first? Yes, like on the next nest. The reason that I haven't is because I worry about my counting. It's only, let's see, on here it's only 4 stitches. On another one it's only 3. It should be fine, but I just get nervous that I would count it wrong and then mess it up so much. Also, the construction of these, I mean, they're a little flimsy no matter what, but they are extra flimsy before I put the stitches on the bottom, which kind of tighten up the edges. So it's good to get that going when I can. But I don't know, maybe on the next one, I'll try starting with a circle. Sarah's finished 36 stitches, and now at a good stopping point to go ahead to my workout class. Well, enjoy your workout class. Thank you for popping in and doing a little crafting before then. I hope you have a good night at the workout class, and thank you again for the resub, Sarah. And Richard, have I been outside the US? Yes, I have. Not super extensively. I've been to Canada and Mexico, and I've been to a handful of places in Europe. I studied abroad in the Netherlands and in England. So nowhere like super, super different culturally. But yeah, I've been outside of the US. How about you? Joe, that is an interesting point that you bring up. So the issue with the brown on this one is that I have two different sized nests, so that they can stack inside of each other. However, in my design that I kind of exported, I only made the smaller size. I didn't really think to make the bigger sized ones in the design. So sometimes I'll just be following the pattern I made for myself and not do enough stitches that way. So that's what happened on this one multiple times. But you are right that if I did the circle first, because the circle is the same on all of them, then I could just do all of the brown outside of it. That's a very smart point, Joe. I might have to try that next time. I gave all of that extra context to just be like, and here's why you're extra right. Yes, despite living very close to Eastern Canada, I have never been to Eastern Canada. I maybe did as a baby, because when I was a baby, I lived in Michigan, and I know that my parents went to Canada quite often from there. But I've been to Vancouver, and Victoria a handful of times. There's a cool trans history conference that happens at the University of Victoria that I had a wonderful time going to back in 2023. I love the Pacific Northwest out there. So yeah, I'm big fan of Vancouver. I really, really enjoy it out there. But yeah, I want to go to Toronto and Montreal. I'd love to go to also Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia, Newfoundland. They all seem very cool. I've met a handful of creators who live in those places, and they seem very cool. I also enjoy Anne of Green Gables, which is really my only interest in going to Prince Edward Island. I almost went there for the eclipse. That was supposed to be one of the best viewing places for the total eclipse a couple of years ago, but that was going to be an expensive trip, so I didn't do it. But yeah, Canada's cool. I'm into Canada. Might have to escape there at some point. Who knows? Okay, 8:13. I just finished one piece of floss. I think I am going to wrap it up for the night because I'm sleepy. I know a lot of you are sleepy. Let me peek at who's online. We might do some raiding, or we might just call it a night. And quick reminder, I'll do a couple of housekeeping reminders while I look for someone to raid. First is that my merch store, let's check if it's still up. I'm gonna refresh the page. Yes, okay. So you still have hopefully a few more hours, maybe a few days, but at least a few more hours. If you're interested in any of my merch, there's pens and lapel pins and binders and t-shirts. This is mostly for folks who have been familiar with my work in previous eras, but there's a couple of things that are generally LGBTQ plus funny jokes, if you are into that, or if you don't understand why I have waffle stuff, but you like waffles, you could get some of that merch. And this is your last chance ever, because it's all going in the vault after this. So that's one housekeeping PSA. The other is a reminder that I will not be here next week. Got some other things going on, but I will be back on I'm looking at a calendar, on the 30th, on March 30th, and we'll have some fun crafting together. Oh, let's see. There's a lot of people on tonight. Oh, interesting sculptor. Hopefully the snow will be gone by then. The snow is gone here, actually. There's some like snowbanks in some places, but it's pretty gone. It melted like, I don't know, like over the course of about 36 hours when it got really warm, and it's been really warm today. We're just in mud season now. I mean, we'll probably get more snow soon, but it's mostly mud right now. Okay, I'm gonna maybe mute this. Got some diamond painters. Let's see, this one's doing something for a charity. Doing some crocheting for charity. Joe, the cats will be done when I next stream. Well, that's exciting. You have one left, right? But yes, please have a good night. Making a mudman isn't quite as whimsical as a snowman. Yeah. Although, you know, I've never done that. It'd be a fun thing to try. Yeah, you know what? I might just call it a night too. I think we're gonna skip raiding tonight. Out of fatigue. But looks like there are a handful of cool people in the makers and crafting section if any of you are still looking to stream and want to browse. But good night, Joe. Good night, Mikey. Oh, Ace. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Calling it a night. I mean, kind of early. This is also slightly average time for me. What do we miss? Oh, okay. We're doing some goal setting. Melby will get the application done by next week. I will not be here next week, but if your application is due, you should get it done before then. But if you need an extension and you want to go stream to stream, you've got one more week after that. But yeah, thank you all so much for being here tonight. It was really fun to be back with you all after a week off. I'm sad that I'm missing next week too, but it is what it is. And I look forward to being back the week after that. And maybe we'll do more fish. Maybe we'll see a return of the jean jacket. Or maybe I'll do something more simple. We'll see. Oh, Tom, I gotta do my taxes too. Why do you have to remind me of that now? But I hope you all have a very good night, a very good couple of weeks. Thank you for hanging out with me on this sleepy, cozy little rainy night. And I'll talk to you all in 2 weeks. Have a wonderful time. Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you to those who followed and subbed and clipped and channel redeemed. Much love to all of you. All right. Good night. Goodbye.